Welcome to our Politics Discussion podcast. I'm Claire, and I'm joined today by Alan.
Hello, I'm Alan. We're here to explore the latest news stories in a calm and measured way.
Let's start with a recent development in U.S.-Iran relations. President Trump posted a map on his Truth Social platform labeling the Strait of Hormuz as new U.S. territory. What are the implications of this move?
That's a pretty provocative statement. The Strait of Hormuz is a critical waterway for global oil shipments. How did Iran respond to this claim?
According to the reports, an Iranian official called it a delusion, indicating a strong rejection of Trump's assertion. The Strait of Hormuz is an international waterway, and claiming it as U.S. territory would be a significant escalation of tensions.
So, what does this mean in the context of current U.S.-Iran relations? Are there any historical precedents for such a claim?
The reporting suggests that this is part of a broader pattern of increased tensions between the two countries. There aren't direct historical precedents for claiming the Strait of Hormuz as U.S. territory, but there have been other instances of territorial disputes and military buildups in the region.
That raises the stakes considerably. How might this affect global oil markets and shipping?
The Strait of Hormuz is a vital choke point for oil exports. Any disruption or perceived threat to its security could lead to significant market volatility and potentially even impact global energy prices.
That's a complex situation. Let's shift gears to another story. President Trump has been citing India's voter ID system as a model for his proposed Save America Act. Can you explain what that's about?
Yes, Trump has been advocating for stricter voting laws in the U.S., pointing to India's system as an example. India requires photo identification for voters, and Trump has highlighted this as a way to potentially curb electoral fraud in the U.S.
How does the Indian system work exactly? And what are the implications of adopting a similar system in the U.S.?
In India, voters are required to have a valid photo ID to cast their ballots. This has been associated with high voter turnout and minimal issues with electoral fraud. Trump is suggesting that a similar system could help address concerns about voting integrity in the U.S.
That sounds like a significant change to the current voting system in the U.S. Are there any potential challenges or controversies associated with implementing such a system?
Yes, there are debates about voter ID laws in the U.S., with some arguing they could disenfranchise certain groups of voters. The Save America Act would require proof of citizenship and nationwide voter ID, which could be contentious in Congress.
Let's move on to another story. The Minnesota Attorney General has sued the Texas governor to extradite an ICE agent charged with assault and falsely reporting a crime. Can you walk us through this case?
The ICE agent, Christian Castro, is accused of wounding a man during an immigration enforcement operation in Minneapolis and then lying about the incident. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison is seeking to have Castro extradited to Minnesota to stand trial.
What are the legal grounds for this extradition request, and how might Texas Governor Greg Abbott respond?
The lawsuit argues that Texas has a legal obligation to extradite Castro to face charges in Minnesota. Governor Abbott's response will be crucial, as it involves interstate cooperation and potentially sensitive issues around immigration enforcement.
This case highlights the complexities of interstate and federal jurisdiction. What are the broader implications for immigration enforcement and accountability?
This case could set a precedent for how such incidents are handled in the future. It raises questions about the balance between state and federal authority, particularly in cases involving federal agents.
Let's discuss another legal development. A U.S. judge has blocked the Trump administration's plan to move the FBI headquarters to a federal office building in Washington, D.C. What were the grounds for this decision?
The judge ruled that the Trump administration had illegally discarded a previously considered plan to keep the FBI headquarters in Greenbelt, Maryland. The decision found that the administration's actions were not in compliance with legal requirements.
How does this decision impact the plans for the FBI headquarters, and what are the potential implications for federal law enforcement operations?
The ruling effectively halts the proposed move, at least for now. It could have significant implications for the future of the FBI headquarters and potentially affect the administration's plans for federal law enforcement infrastructure.
Let's examine another Justice Department development. The DOJ is pushing to revive criminal charges against Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who was accused of human smuggling. What happened in this case?
A U.S. District Court, Waverly Crenshaw, had dismissed the charges, calling them an abuse of prosecuting power. The Justice Department is now appealing this decision to the 6th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeal.
What are the arguments being made by the DOJ in this appeal, and what could be the potential outcomes?
The DOJ argues that Judge Crenshaw erred in his ruling. If the appeal is successful, the criminal charges against Garcia could be reinstated. This case has implications for human smuggling prosecutions and the broader legal context surrounding immigration.
As we near the end of our discussion, let's summarize the key points from these stories. We've covered a range of topics, from U.S.-Iran tensions to legal battles involving federal agencies and immigration enforcement.
That's right. Each of these stories highlights complex issues with significant implications for U.S. domestic and foreign policy. It's clear that these developments will continue to unfold in the coming weeks and months.
And as always, we'll continue to follow these stories and provide updates as more information becomes available.
Before we sign off, let's take a moment to reflect on the broader themes connecting these stories. Tensions between the U.S. and Iran, debates over voting laws, legal battles over immigration enforcement, and disputes over federal law enforcement infrastructure all point to a complex and often contentious political landscape.
Indeed. These issues are not only significant on their own, but also reflect broader challenges facing the country. It's essential to stay informed and engaged with these developments.
That's all for today's episode. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for listening. We'll be back next time with more in-depth analysis of the latest news stories.